Good afternoon, and welcome to the graduation of the class of 2017. I see that the graduation choir is on the risers, so please rise for the singing of our national anthem under the direction of Mrs. Gerlach.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare
Hello everyone, my name is Katie Korth and I am the president of this year's graduating class. On behalf of the class of 2017, I'm happy to welcome all of you to our commencement ceremony. We have all worked very hard to get to this point, to get to where we are standing here today. It seemed almost yesterday that we were starting our freshman year of high school, but now, after 4 years of hard work, it will all start to pay off. We will all go our separate ways, some to college, others into the military or workforce, and a few will travel abroad. Graduates, I encourage you to do all of these things. Go travel, explore, and find out where your life will take you. But also, don't forget where your roots lie. Remember where you came from and come back every once in a while. As I say this, I must also address the parents. Our lives are just beginning, and though you've held on to us for so long, it has come time for you to let go. So before you start crying, I have a little story to tell you. Okay, this will sound very silly, but when I was a little girl, I was always afraid of getting helium balloons. Not because of how it looked or how it hovered over me or anything, but because of how easily it could slip out of my hand. I let go of a balloon once, and I watched it fly away, and I cried and cried and cried. For the longest time, I didn't ever want a helium balloon. I even told my sisters not to get the balloons that they gave out at Red Robin. So because of my ridiculous fear, my grandma got me a book called Where Do Balloons Go by Jamie Lee Curtis. It starts out with a little boy who loses his balloon and wonders, where do balloons go when you let them go free? It can happen by accident. It's happened to me. The story continues with the boy pondering all of the things the balloons do, the places they go, and the wonders that they explore. He asks, will they float far away to England and France? And do they all meet up high for a big balloon dance? Do they ever write letters, email, or fax? Do they ever just let down their strings and relax? I have come to realize that this children's book is almost a perfect metaphor as to where we are today. Our class will have the same tendencies as these balloons. We will wander off, we will explore, we will travel, and we will do amazing things. At the end of the book, the boy asks once more, where do balloons go? It's a mystery, I know. So just hold on tight until you have to let go. So now I ask all of you, where do graduates go? It's a mystery, I know. So everyone, just hold on tight until you have to let go. Welcome again, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Keith Schneider, our principal.
Thank you, Katie, for your welcome, your classmates, your advisors, and I thank you for your leadership and your caring spirit and your sense of humor. Speaking of that, a Spanish musician, I know the seniors might like this one, a Spanish musician said, "I will disappear on the count of 3. Uno, dos," and disappeared without a trace. That one is for our seniors. You'll never hear another joke on the announcements again. As I begin to prepare for this day, both as a principal and a dad, this is going to be tough. It brought a lot of emotion. Like many, it's hard to believe that you're about to receive your diploma, and they're stacked right behind me. Where did the time go? 1 minute, you're walking in the little theater at the elementary school for your kindergarten concert, and you barely fit in, the parents barely fit in as well, and the next minute, you're walking across the stage, receiving your high school diploma. Unbelievable. So I thought I'd take a little trip back in time with you this afternoon, share some of the things you did, all of you did, while you were in school in Cambridge. So, when we were getting ready for our graduation party, Joyce and I were cleaning, and we happened to find some things that I bet your family has found as well. And if they didn't find them, I bet they're sitting in a tote or in a bucket or in a shelf somewhere in your house. So I'm going to ask Mr. Leadholm to come and help me, and we're going to walk down memory lane for about 5 minutes. Number 1, do you remember counting to 100? It was a big deal. So was getting to the 100th day, and you probably made a headband that counted from 10 all the way to 100, and you wore them. Probably very proud, even on the bus or the ride home. That was nice. Thank you. How many of you remember being awarded Star Student of the Week? Your teachers made a point so everyone was special, and you all were star students. And I remember as a parent frantically, well, probably Joyce did more than I did, but you remember putting the pictures up there. You all probably remember that vividly, and you were proud as could be to be the student of the week. We're proud of you today. Thank you, Mr. Leadholm. How about some Thanksgiving turkeys? Do you remember making some of those turkeys when you were in elementary school? Our art department did a great job. I think there's 2 turkeys I want to share with you. One had some feathers on it, and I'm sure you remember gluing those there. And the other one had these wonderful little legs that you had to bend and crease. And again, you probably all did those. Now we're going to go on to PBIS. PBIS is a big word, a big acronym in education, the Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. We did them back then when you were in first grade, second grade, all these grade levels, but they didn't look like they do now, like the frosty-free stuff that we have at the high school. So, for some of them, we have some certificates. The first one, I know it's going to be hard to read, but they say, Music Award, I played the blank well today in music. Everybody played some instrument. The next one, I exercise to keep myself healthy, 1,500 minutes total for the year. Your teachers actually took track of that and kept track of that. Sadly, Ms. Velker is not with us today, but she would have been proud to be here if she was. The one I love is, have you been clowning around by Mrs. Meal? Do you remember that? If any of you had Betsy Meal? You were clowning around as a positive behavior award. And finally, 1,000,000 minutes. For those of you readers, you always got awards for reading. So you probably received some sort of post-it note or a note like this from your teachers all the way through. Now, what about the pottery you made? We have bowls and plates and all sorts of things that actually we were told to use. And so everyone made something like that. It probably sat on your counter for months. Might even used it, or were told to use it with a real fork. I know I did. You're graduating today, and you're going to get a report card in the mail. Next week, Friday, they go out. But in elementary school, you didn't get a report card. You got a folder for each quarter. And in it was all sorts of things your teachers held valuable that they wanted to share with you and your families. So you probably have some that you decorated all the way through elementary school, and they're beautiful. You were all musicians because you all played one of these. Families, do you remember these? The dreaded recorder. Yes. They're still going strong, everybody. They're still going strong. Families remember this. Students didn't like to write in these, but these were things called student planners, whereas an elementary school student, your parent had to sign every single night on the bottom of that line. And in middle school, what day did you have to get it signed? Thursdays, exactly. I hope you leave with a planning system that works for you as you leave high school. Some people still use the planners like that. How many of you here, seniors, were a member of this exclusive organization called the School Safety Patrol? You remembered it for the badge. This is a captain's badge. You remembered it for being cool that you could go outside a little early, and then of course, what do you remember at the end of the year? Mount Olympus, going to the Dells. And they still do something like that today. The bridge. Mr. Anderson is in the audience over there, and every student in middle school built a bridge. This one survived. I don't know how, but this one survived. I hope yours did as well. Mr. Bettenhausen, where are you today? Right over here. He was your art teacher at the middle school, and you did this, and you were proud of that because they hung him up in the middle school on the ceiling, and this one survived. I loved it. Perspective person, I believe is what it's called, right, Mr. Bettenhausen? Proud art teacher right there. How many of you had this t-shirt called Camp Lucerne? Ropes, archery, fishing. Dan the herpetologist, I'm sad to say that yellow python is no longer alive, everyone. They replaced it with a bigger white one, I think. Canoeing down the river starting at Ding's Dock. And that was a harrowing experience for not only the students, but you as parents who volunteered to go on these trips. And if you're in the audience and you've gone on this trip, it depends on the water, whether it's high or not. It can be challenging. Now, the list could go on, but I am going to stop because we, as your teachers, your principals, friends, your relatives in the audience, we've saved a lot of stuff. I just brought a few things that happen to be in my household. Whether it be memories or the tangible items, we held these for us to treasure for you and remember, but now it's really up to you as graduates of Cambridge High School to start making your own memories and saving your own things. So, class of 2017, what will you save as you start your new journey in life after today? Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Leadholm, our Dean of Students, to join me at the podium.
At this time, it is my privilege to recognize this senior class honor awards and scholarship winners. The Gold Cord recognition are those earning National Honor Society honors. The Silver Cord recognition are those students who have put in over 200 hours of volunteering for our community. All of our award winners and scholarship winners are included in the graduation program that you received on your way into the gymnasium. As is the tradition at Cambridge High School, each year we recognize the Departmental Outstanding Student Award. At this time, would each of our departmental award winners please stand to be recognized? Thank you. Next, I would like to recognize those students who have received a local scholarship. Would all of those students please stand at this time to be recognized? Finally, I would like to honor those seniors who have been awarded non-local scholarships. Would each of you please stand to be recognized? Cambridge High School is extremely pleased to announce that over $80,000 in local scholarships were awarded. Combined with the non-local scholarship awards, this senior class was awarded over $850,000 in total scholarship money. This is truly amazing. Congratulations to all of our honor awards and scholarship award winners. Cambridge High School also has a long-standing relationship with the Badger State program. Each summer, 2 female and 2 male students attend the Badger State program to further their understanding about the role of government in our society. To be chosen is an honor. Would you please help me in recognizing this year's seniors who participated in Badger Girls State? Please stand as I call your name. Grace Carpenter and Katie Korth. Would you also help me in recognizing this year's senior boys who participated in Badger Boys State? Please stand to be recognized. Keaton Harrison and Josh Neeson. Congratulations to our Badger State representatives. At this time, I would like to introduce Caleb Kapsner, who was last year's Spade Award winner. Caleb?
The presentation of the Spade Award is a long-held Cambridge High School tradition that can be traced back to 1947 and may have existed before then. It is given to a deserving member of the junior class to recognize the special talents of that student. I was the recipient last year, and I am honored to present the Spade Award at this time. In recognition of your high standard of conduct, your ability to assume responsibility and work well with others, your contributions to the extracurricular program, and always striving to do your very best. This year's Spade Award is presented to Cade Vathy.
It is our honor and pleasure to announce our second-ranked student, our salutatorian, Grace Carpenter. Grace plans to attend Edgewood College in the fall. Following a CHS tradition, Grace has received her medallion from the school district, and at this time will will give the salutatorian address. Would you please help us in welcoming Grace to the stage?
Good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, and my fellow classmates of the class of 2017. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the teachers and staff who have gotten us to where we are today. We truly could not have done it without you. I would also like to thank everyone who has supported me along this journey, especially my family and friends. I would like to thank all that traveled here, as well as those who are with us in our hearts. Finally, I would like to extend the thank you to my classmates. It has been such a pleasure to learn and grow with you. It is an honor to be speaking with you today. I'll try not to talk too long. They say it's best to leave your audience before they leave you. So, to the class of 2017, congratulations, we did it. However, today I am conflicted, and I think the majority of my classmates could agree with me. I find myself on this stage experiencing numerous emotions. Firstly, and perhaps most obviously, I am filled with a great sense of accomplishment, pride, and happiness. My peers and I have put so much into this very day that was 18 years in the making. It has been by no means easy, and there were certainly times where I thought Monday mornings and my senioritis were going to be detrimental. The people before me have endured years of Spanish, the swimming unit and gym, and countless standardized tests, and yet we all survived. Yet, this conflicted feeling stems from the very fact that this ceremony signals the end of our journey as a grade. The majority of us have been together for 13 years, and parents, you're probably wondering where the time went. It seems just like yesterday was the first day of kindergarten. You were dropping us off at the bus stop with our little name tags and backpacks, and proceeded to take approximately 1,000 pictures. At school, we had multiple recesses a day and nap time. It was such a simpler time when all we had to worry about was coloring inside the lines. Then came middle school. For most, middle school was probably the most awkward 3 years of our lives, and it was full of embarrassment. For me, my crowning moment in middle school was at Camp Lucerne. I just may have accidentally ran over Henry with a bike during the mountain biking expedition, and I actually broke the bike. I wasn't hurt, but him, not so much, so I'm sorry, Henry. Anyways, between the bad haircuts and Aeropostale t-shirts, I'm surprised we all turned out the way we did. Many of us were excited and maybe a little nervous about beginning high school. We arrived in this very school as freshmen 4 years ago, wide-eyed and anxious. We were lucky if we could open our lockers, and even luckier if we could get to class on time. I remember just walking down the hallways was a nightmare. And no, I don't mean Nick. Okay, during our years here, we have learned so much. While we may not remember everything, we will always remember the important things, like learning the periodic table of the Constitution, reading To Kill a Mockingjay, and probably something about numbers. Fast forward 4 short years, and now, seemingly out of nowhere, we're already graduating. Everyone always told me that high school goes by quickly, but I didn't think it would actually go by this quickly. And of course, getting to this point in our lives may have seemed like an eternity for some of us, and for our parents. Regardless, senior year was the year of lasts. One day, we were cheering at our last football games, having our last fire drills, taking our last tests, and saying goodbye to our favorite teachers. One day, we were closing our lockers and walking out the doors for the last time with our best friends. And today, we are in an alphabetically ordered line in a cap and gown next to the people who we have grown up with. And one day, in the not too distant future, we will be having our last fun-filled Friday nights with the people who we have made a million memories with. And soon, we'll be packing up 18 years worth of our life into boxes and hugging our parents goodbye. Graduation marks the end of yet another extraordinary chapter in our lives, and I'm certain that with this chapter closed, many of us are already anxious about starting the next one. Armed with all of the necessary skills acquired from Cambridge High, I know we are more than ready to tackle this next phase of our lives. For some, the workforce or the military. For others, college or technical schools. Our grade has future athletes, teachers, engineers, meteorologists, dentists, mathematicians, nurses, artists, and CEOs. Someone in the class of 2017 could even find the cure for cancer. Whatever the next chapter be, I am certain that we will rise to the challenge. Now, there is a universal truth that we all must face. Whether we want to or not, everything eventually ends. As much as I've looked forward to this day, I've always disliked endings, whether it be the last day of summer or the last chapter of a good book. But endings are inevitable, and today we say goodbye to everything that was familiar and comfortable. But I guess this is not merely the ending. It's more of a new beginning. The road that we have been traveling on together for 13 years is not coming to a dead end. It is simply splitting into 58 different and unique paths. The class of 2017 has an overwhelming amount of talent, and I'm certain that we will all go on to accomplish great things. Now, my understanding is that these kinds of speeches usually begin with some sort of quote and end with a story to commemorate our departure. And for the life of me, I cannot find a narrative to narrow 13 years of history into a single metaphor for this moment. So instead, I will just say this. To the class of 2017, as we move on with our lives, I ask for a few things. I ask that we all follow our dreams with the same passion that Mr. Hardy has for math. I ask that we work hard, be diligent, and always strive to be the best that we can be. Finally, I wish you all the best of luck and hope that you continue to excel in all of your future endeavors. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bernie Nicolay, our superintendent.
Thank you, Grace. On behalf of the Board of Education and the entire faculty, I offer congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2017. At this time, we continue our long-standing graduation ceremony tradition of honoring our retiring faculty and staff. I have the privilege of recognizing 3 long-serving teachers who are retiring from the Cambridge School District. All 3 of them are highly respected teaching professionals and will be deeply missed. 2 of our retirees are unable to be with us today. They are Mary Doyle, who served as a special education teacher at the middle school for 13 years. The second is Sue Thompson, who served as a special education teacher at the elementary school for 26 years. The third, the longest-serving retiree, who is here today, is Mary Rubish. Mary has served as a special education teacher in the elementary school for 30 years. Mary, we thank you, and we give you our sincere gratitude for your excellent service to the school district. Please come forward, Mary, to receive a retirement plaque and be recognized by our graduating seniors and all of our guests in attendance today.
At this time, we have a musical selection for you from the class.
Good afternoon. This is our graduation choir with 21 incredible seniors, incredible people, and incredible musicians. And I just would like to thank them publicly. They are incredible. And I'd also like to announce our 4 soloists that you'll hear, and just ask that you hold your applause until the end, or you'll miss the next part part of the music where you want to sit in a solo, we wouldn't want to clap over that. So our first soloist is Keaton Zabel, followed by Matt Haiti, and then when we get to our last song, we have Kelsey Schneider and Lily Woolman. And just here's to an incredible piece of music that they put together themselves.
Thank you, Mrs. Gerlach and the graduation choir. That was awesome. It's our honor and pleasure to announce our first-ranked student, our valedictorian, Josh Neeson. Josh plans to attend UW-Madison in the fall. Following a CHS tradition, Josh has received his medallion and now will give his valedictorian address with screams. Would you please help me in welcoming Josh to the stage?
While I was preparing the speech, I remembered that my English teachers always told me my writing style is very formulaic and scientific. So instead of trying to fight it, I thought I'd embrace my analytical style and stick to what I know. Yeah. So I thought I'd make a flow chart because scientific, analytical. Recently on my 18th birthday, I received a birthday card that had a big red sign posted in the yard that read, "Beware of dog." And attached to that sign was a sheet of paper with the word poop. So I pondered it, and then I had some hope, and I was like, we're getting a dog, yes. But no. The card instead actually had some wise advice about life that I would like to share with you today. It advised to stay positive and avoid the poop as life gets more challenging. So I began to think about this so-called poop and realized that it was the disappointments that come in life, such as not getting a dog. So another learning opportunity that I've had this spring has been dealing with not meeting personal expectations from all the time, energy, and attention giving to running. After a very successful cross-country season, for which I'm extremely grateful, I expected the track would have similar results to cross-country given I trained through the winter. And in November, I placed 4 sticky notes above my desk at home that were my goal times for track this year. And out of those 4, I reached one of those goals, meaning I was 25% successful in what I did. However, Eliza Stevenson, a British author, wrote that disappointment to a noble soul is what cold water is to burning metal. It strengthens, tempers, intensifies, but never destroys it. Each of our personal experiences with disappointment help to temper our future frustrations and dissatisfaction. When I first began riding a dirt bike, I took a corner wrong and ended up riding up a tree. And so every time that I've crashed a dirt bike or drove it up a tree, there was an opportunity, a challenge, a situation that I was able to learn from. And this has truly taught me more about attentiveness, awareness, and an ability to persevere even when excrement happens. Strangely, I found that running is much like riding a dirt bike. They both require mental focus, physical aptitude, and endurance over time. And John Canfield, who's an American author, wrote that if you can tune into your purpose and really align with it, then life flows much more easily. And in some way, we all have to find a type of motivation, a competitive edge, an internal yearning for something that we embrace. And this fine-tuning and enjoyment of life is what leads to success that we all measure in different ways. Therefore, find whatever is personally motivating to you and follow that throughout life as it guides your future. And this is what creates amazing inventions that allows people to personally succeed. This is that green grass that can be found clear of any imperfections in the yards of dog owners. How an individual deals with their success is just as important as how they deal with their disappointment. My dad often reminds me of the great Vince Lombardi, and is saying that if you ever get into the end zone, act as if you've been there before. And this exemplifies the need to humbly enjoy your success and not boast about it. And disappointment is very rough. However, building off of disappointment is one of the greatest actions to complete. This growing period is the perfect opportunity to learn, to strengthen, and share with others what has occurred. Honesty, integrity, and a clear image of who you are, this is all that can be asked from each of us. To highlight our differences and capitalize on the opportunities they create is what we need in order to enjoy the success that we create. Abraham Lincoln said that if we magnified our successes as much as we magnify our disappointments, we'd all be much happier. So not just embracing success, but acknowledging it just as much as failure. But how do we deal with both success and failure? And this is the point where we need to stop and reflect on what has occurred. Control of emotions is key in order to succeed. Therefore, staying level-headed, whether somber or ecstatic, is a phenomenal way to go through life. So life is like a dirt field on which we each have the opportunity to grow whatever we determine makes us successful. That field may have some dog poop along with the flowers. But remember this: disappointment to a noble soul is what cold water is to burning metal. It strengthens, tempers, intensifies, but never destroys it. So thank you to the teachers and administration, family, and everyone who has supported each of us through these years. And finally, thank you to the class of 2017 for an amazing 13 years. And I hope that your empty field, your life, your future is personally successful. Thank you. At this time, the seniors will continue a graduation tradition by presenting our class flowers to family and friends. And please enjoy our senior video that will play on the 2 screens in our gym as we distribute the flowers. The video will be accessible both on our school's webpage as well as posted on Facebook after the ceremony.
Mr. Nicolay, members of the Board of Education, the School District of Cambridge, honored faculty and guests, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the graduation candidates of the class of 2017 and declare before these witnesses that they have met the requirements for graduation as established by the state of Wisconsin and the School District of Cambridge. Having met these requirements, I recommend that they be recognized for their accomplishments with the presentation of their high school diploma.
On behalf of the School District of Cambridge and the Board of Education, I accept these candidates for graduation from the class of 2017 and ask that the class advisors please join us on stage and call each candidate forward by name to receive his or her diploma. I would also ask Courtney Reed Jenkins and Thomas Wright to come forward and assist in the presentation of the diplomas.
Will the first row of graduates please rise and come to the stage? As we call your name, please step onto the stage to receive your diploma. Megan Marie Adams. Jeffrey Scott Anderson. Kaylee Rose Andrews Wagner. Haley Marie Beck. Zoe Ann Bolivar. Hi, Mom. Bailey Marie Benescu. Grace Ann Carpenter. Annika Svea Christensen. Andrew James Deutsch. Brooke Joy Fulmer. Heinrich Thomas Frederick. Sierra Sawyer Freeland. Alexis Ray Fry. Taylor Rose Frodel. Noah Robert Furseth. Zachary Robert Genrick. Benjamin James Goebel. Philip Bradley Grout. Amelia Laura Gunnelson. Cameron Claire Harrison. Keaton Cole Harrison. Matthew Edward Havey. William Roger Hummon. Abby Nicole Joyce. Caleb Edward Kahila. August John Widlin Kaiser. Caleb Robert Kepsner. Nicholas Alexander Karlovich. Katie Marie Horth. Molly Elizabeth Korth. Gray Lake Leverton. Aurelia Clarice Lorbeck. Grace Olivia Mauser. Shadow Brittany McCoff. David Lloyd Melton. Kimberly Jane Ness. Joshua Scott Neeson. Quinn Brendan O'Connor. Brock Raiden Pleshek. Tori Nicole Ricketts. Madison Ann Safer. Catherine Spencer Schmidt. Nicholas Kylie Schmidt. Kelsey Joe Schneider. Michael John Schrader. Jack William Skadlarek. Sydney Aaron Tate. Taggart John Tesdell. Ryan Alexander Walamaki. Lillian Moore Wallman. Elia Adams Will. Matthew James Wilson. Kevin James Willits. David Harold Yurkonis. Emily Ann Zahn. Keegan Michael Zabel.
As administrators of the School District of Cambridge, we thank all of our graduates for your time and talents. As you venture into your future endeavors, please remember you are always welcome to return to Cambridge High School as an alumni. Please remember, once a Blue Jay, always a Blue Jay. Our facility will remain open for an hour after the ceremony for families to take pictures. Thank you all for attending this year's graduation ceremony. At this time, would the class of 2017 please stand, turn, and face the audience? Graduates, please move your tassel from the left to the right side of your mortarboard. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in congratulating the class of 2017.